And that could have been a triple threat.
That could have been a triple threat, if any. Right. And I'm like, man, what are we doing? Like you got these ladies here, so they got to split this time in here with all these guys. And no disrespect to the guys, but this is a male sport, okay? So let's just put that out there. They're going to always have time. There's always going to be space for them. But the ladies don't always, to me, get their just due. And, I felt like that was kind of a disservice to the fan, especially Sophie King, another one who's really coming into her own. She's really coming into her character. I just enjoy her more and more. Every time I see her, I feel like she just gets better and better at what she's doing.
Well, so I'm going to give the big house, the WWE props, for giving us the main event, a triple threat match of a female main event at Wrestlemania.
And all titles is on the line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa, what?
And I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he switched it up, because that makes it more interesting. So I got, as much as if I criticize WWE, I will give them their props when their props is due. Mm-hmm. They gave us the main event for the first female's main event ever at Wrestlemania. So hopefully other promotions can kind of piggyback off that and give female wrestlers like more spotlight,
more of a platform,
being the main event, the last match on the card, So
and that match, like I say, is SmackDown and Raw Championship. So no matter who wins,
they both belts.
They hold. And so, do you think that they finna eliminate the Raw and SmackDown and just say the WWE champion?
They need to. There's the brand split needs to go to me.
And I'm with that 100%. Because it's just like when and even though this is professional boxing, I'm finna go all the way back to when Leon Spinks fought Muhammad Ali, and he won the belt, and then he wanted to give him a rematch. And I think it was the WBA. One of them said no. That's when they split up the belts. Right. Then it was WBC. And then
it takes the weight off. Like it takes the. I don't know what you want to call it. I guess it just takes that stature off one belt. It's like it means nothing to just have a belt.
Right.
And it's like, well, I got a belt. Well, I got a belt too. But which one is?
Which one is the
top? Right.
There you go.
Stronger than the other.
There you go.
Well, absolutely. When you have both belts on, you are the unified women's WWE Women's Champion.
Yes.
Undisputed. Undisputed.
There you go.
WWE
Women's
Champion.
And that's what makes it count.
It makes
it
count.
Hopefully they get down to one.
Yeah,
I really do.
That would be good. It's kind of overkill when you have one.
So there's nothing wrong with the Intercontinental. That's fine. But to be heavyweight, the top dog, the roof is only should be one champion.
Yeah, it really should.
There's actually a hot topic right now trending in regards to the WWE. And there was comedian / commentator, John Oliver. He's actually did a piece about 25 minutes that was on YouTube.
I checked it out
speaking about healthcare and the WWE. Lynn, you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, actually,
the reason why I'm asking Lynn just the backstory is because Lynn is an actual active union member through her local at her job. And so she goes around, she talks about this, she fights for these rights as far as these for the employees for the state of Illinois. So when the topic started trending, not only being the aunt of an independent wrestler, but when she saw the topic trending, she commented under John Oliver, and there were several people retweeting her comment, commenting on her comment, and I was like, oh wow, like sis is trending. So just give us a little. So she called, she asked me about it, and I just thought it'd be really cool to bring her on the show to just to touch on really briefly. So you can go ahead and take that. Tell us more about that.
Well, basically, the link is up on Outside the Ring, you guys' fan page.
Yeah, you can give it out.
Well, it is. The link is up there if anybody would like to watch it. But basically, long story short, these wrestlers that are in the WWE, and mind you, just to preface, we're not discussing independent wrestling. This is only the WWE specifically. And these wrestlers do not have any health care at all. They're basically responsible for all health care. If they get injured, or if they die, and they have to stop wrestling, there's no coverage for them at all outside the ring. We have several wrestlers who have had to have GoFundMe accounts after their careers to cover for medical bills, any kind of mental illness issues. They've done that. Even for funeral costs, they've had fans have covered those costs for them. And we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? Wrestlemania, as far as like fans and everything, is bigger than the World Series. So Vince McMahon can definitely afford to pay some kind of health care or have a legacy fund like the NFL set up for these former wrestlers, because these are our people, right? And like, God forbid, like, we know a lot of these people. Alpha, Omega, they've actually been on SmackDown, Raw. If they ever make it to that stage, they get in that ring and they get hurt, they're going to go home to their families, and their families are going to have to take care of them. KLD makes it to that level. He gets hurt. He's going to come home. His family's going to have to pick up for that. And, even my niece, right? Like, she gets hurt. She makes it to that level. Right. This is some things that, that can change. WWE listens to its fans. That is one of the one sports where the fans have total control. They have a voice. Like, if they don't like something, they let it be known, and those writers, they pick up on it, like, immediately. That company responds to its fans. It's very fan-driven. Right. So I feel like that if the fans put it out there and started pushing for it, Jesse Ventura actually tried to unionize the wrestlers back in 1989.
Yeah, it was in the 80s. Yeah.
But it got pushed back. These guys are supposed to be independent contractors, but the WWE owns their names, their likeness, their merchandise, any kind of movie. Right now, you have a poster right now, Fighting With My Family, it says, from producer Dwayne Johnson. If you notice that anything that The Rock does now says Dwayne Johnson.
He's independent of them.
The Rock is owned by WWE.
He had to use his real name.
Dwayne Johnson is not. Right. So he doesn't even own. That's his intellectual property. That is a character that he created that he can't even profit off of because Vince McMahon owns it.
And if you look at that poster down on the left-hand corner,
yes,
it's still got the WWE
logo.
So he's making money on the Marines, Condemn. Even when Triple H and
so Rock is still connected somewhere.
Andre,
Oh, that's because of Paige. The likeness of Paige.
Because of the likeness of Paige.
But if it was just the Rock's movie, I'm sure it'll be a $7 also.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah, they own the likeness of Paige.
Yeah. Right.
So so I just felt like that was really important. For us just as fans. That we could even push and try to advocate for our favorite wrestlers. They were doing a documentary on Jake the Snake. It broke my heart. In the middle of the documentary, he was in so much pain, they took him to a doctor. Yeah. He had to have surgery. He didn't even have money for the surgery. So the producer or the director of this little independent film started a GoFundMe so that Jake the Snake could have his shoulder.
Like $7,000 on there.
And
he broke
$7,000
in an hour for the shoulder surgery. Yeah. Right.
And it goes to show you how many fans that still care, remember him from back in the 80s, and appreciated and cared about his character.
And it's like Mick Foley,
Yes.
He took so many bumps over the years.
But he saved every dime that he got, and he's, he wrote his books, So,
but he's the exception, though. Not
right.
The rule.
And see, it's some of them out there that say, but he was one of the ones that sent his money home to the missus, and you saw him. You saw him every weekend and weekend out with that same white shirt and them pants. It could even be 5 pairs, but his
flannel shirt,
his dress code remained the same. Simple, easy, a sock.
Yeah. It's the sock.
It's, and like I say, how you spend your money and how you save your money, and that was one of the men that did it, and I'm quite sure he was talking to some of them other wrestlers. Hey, lifestyles of the rich and famous are always gonna come down.
Yeah, but salaries and benefits are two totally different
things.
They're
totally different, right?
We're talking about benefits. If I get paid $100,000, I don't know, I'm just throwing a number out there.
Mm-hmm.
I get paid $100,000, but if I get hurt and I have to spend 72 of it on a surgery,
on medical,
then what does that matter? You know, these people, football players, they wrestle. They play football for 8 weeks. If they good, maybe 4 more. Basketball players, they have a schedule. They're going to play 82 games. If they go into the postseason, great. You might play another 16 more.
But wrestling is 300 or something.
Year round, and we're talking about promotional events and everything. These are not
they don't
people,
get no time off.
Exactly, there is no time off.
I
there
said
is
that.
none. You know, our independent wrestlers that we know personally can barely. They have to work a lot of them minimum wage jobs because those are jobs that will work around their independent wrestling schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So if benefits is not a salary, that's not a thing. That's for work. That's for labor. Like, it's your labor to give. I work these many hours. You give me this much money. Right. But if I get hurt on this job, like even my job, I'll get workman's comp. You know, so that's.
Belinda McMahon is definitely, she's an administrator of the Small Business Administration under Trump's cabinet. So at this time, and she was called to the carpet for this exact issue. They're like, your own company isn't even covering these people.
And that's why she stepped away.
And she basically stating, you know, well, we pay for them to live all over the world. These wrestlers have plenty of money. That was her true response to it. So to go back to basically, she's proving the point, as Lynn said, benefits is not the same as my salary. That is two totally different things. So she was just so frustrated with the question that, you know, it's like just to even have that type of response. It was like even the reporter was like, wait, really?
It was the same thing when you watch the report when Vince McMahon was asked that question too.
Yeah,
he
was upset.
He knocked the paper out. The reporter, like, he couldn't handle the actual question because he didn't have an answer to it because he know it was the truth. The truth is you do not,
and you know the truth hurts.
You do not cover these wrestlers.
They make you so much money. They make you so much money.
Right. You know, and even though he got his lawyers, like I say, when these wrestlers sit down and finna sign the contract and they read that contract, it is up to them to say, hey, what about some health insurance? See, they should mention that before they sign their contract. Hey, what about?
It's in writing. It says, but you're independent, so we don't have to cover that.
And see, independent. That is the main.
That's how he gets out of it, though. That's how he gets out of it. But see, Vince McMahon, unfortunately for him, he gonna have to change with the times because these new kids that are coming in, they are not Ric Flair. They are not Hulk Hogan. They are not. Stone Cold.
And Ric Flair don't have no money.
You know, these kids, they're going to be asking for these things, and he's going to have to adapt to them because that's why the independent circuit is getting so big. Because right now, if we wanted to call Paige and say, "Hey, come down to Glory Pro, we'll pay you some money," she can't.
Yeah, right.
So that to me is not independent. Right, so like these people, like that's why people rather go to Japan. They'd rather go to Japan.
And you can't even call Paige to say, "Hey, can you call in outside the ring?" She still got to get permission.
And they're gonna tell you they have to talk to the office.
Right. These are employees. They are not independent contractors. Then you want it both ways, Vince McMahon, and that's the problem.
And if they all stick together,
which they're not.
If these young men and women in the WWE, if they all stick together and go in there and say, this is what's going to have to be, even though there's other wrestlers waiting in the ring, but if they make that noise, the other wrestlers might join them and say, yeah, we need this help cause we putting our bodies on the line.
It's like
every week.
It's like they're being taken out back and shot. Like,
you know, and when you sign the contract, and he wants you to do a match and where you jump off the top of that cage down on to Zoe, that's on the table, hey, so be it.
Well, you're starting to see more now, like recently, like relating to. I'm gonna tie this into what we're talking about now. The wrestlers are actually speaking out about their character, how they're being mistreated.
How they're being.
You know, you're seeing more people tweet Naomi.
Even New Day.
New Day.
Titus O'Neil. Yeah. He was very vocal
Breeze.
when they allowed Hogan to come back. He was very
right on, Titus.
People are not afraid to speak out now, so we can tie this into the healthcare benefits. You know, if this is a hot trending topic, it needs to be tweeted, retweeted out there.
When it starts stirring up, it's going to come out the pot.
I mean, just us in this basement, right? I mean, we just watched a match. Falls count anywhere. We watched those. How many chairs did they hit each other with? You know, how many times they fall off the ring?
That was
how
the
many
first time
going through the tables.
You know,
like how many tables did they go through? Right?
I always thought like on TV it was some type of like like
sound effect or something.
Soft chair shot. No.
Jake and AJ Gray was going.
Like
that's them making it sound.
A steel chair that's like in the back of me right now being hit on somebody's head and somebody's body.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really wild because, like, even they were the match right before intermission.
Right.
And, you know, after intermission, the guys come out, they sell their merch. And Jake something didn't even come out. And I saw him, you know, after intermission. And I said, hey, I wanted to get a shirt from you. And he said, I'm sorry. He said, I was whooped. I was just staying in the back. I didn't even come out during intermission. Yeah. Like, this guy's in real pain, right? So
jump in ice, ice
but
tub,
guess what? When if
right
he has to go to the doctor for that, he will pay for that. Why? Because he's independent. Because he can walk out of there and go to any other studio, promo, venue that he wants. Right. Because that's his choice. No one can make him and say, nope, that's just it. Nope, you're
you signed the contract.
Exactly. And that's the difference.
And you know, it was just some independent promotion a couple years ago that came through and went back out, and I'm just gonna say it, NWL. Mm-hmm. You know, he went around to different independent organizations and was picking talent from different organizations, and some of the mainstream guys that's in the independent league, you know, profession, they had contracts where that they couldn't even go and wrestle for another independent.
To other promos.
Yes,
wow.
Yes. But then there was some that was in NWL still couldn't go because they didn't sign the contract, but he still wanted them on his show.
Wow.
But, you know, it was a flyby thing. And
but you see why it didn't last, though, because people like to have ownership of themselves, right? I mean, nobody wants to be owned.
And then, you know, like I say, you know, he's making millions and billions, you know, with the merchandise. Cause everybody, well, I will be in the house when they come in July, but you see all the people walking around with those WWE belts, the T-shirts that's 35 and 45. There's a lot of people that's buying the merchandise, and like I say, it's $1 billion business.
Oh, we ain't gonna never stop watching, right?
Ever.
If you're gonna let him get away with it, he gonna continue to do it.
That's right. But speaking of which, because we're gonna end on a lighter note,
right?
We were talking about our favorite WrestleMania moment.
We were.
Oh man.
So So
this is WrestleMania week. You know, one of the biggest weeks the biggest week in wrestling. Not one of the biggest week in wrestling. The show of all shows, the grand stage of them all. My favorite WrestleMania was WrestleMania 6. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Tell y'all why.
Tell us why.
So back in the day, there was a cable company called TCI Cable. If anybody remember what that is?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You do so.
Same way with sarcasm.
Right.
Same way with Continental Cable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
TCI Cable did not have pay-per-view back in the day. So back in the day, like, I was such a wrestling nerd, whatever you want to call a fan. You know, I'm proud to say that.
Wrestling enthusiast.
Wrestling enthusiast. My mom told me to write the senator, if you really want something to change, you need to write your sentences.
Wow.
And I was a little kid. I said, okay.
Make them work for your vote, Zoe.
Okay. And I wrote Paul Simon, Senator Paul Simon at the time.
Wow.
And he wrote me back.
What?
He wrote me back, and I will bring those letters here next week. My mom keep everything. Stay tuned.
Your mom is a hoarder.
Yes, she's a hoarder and proud of it.
Shout out to Miss Ray.
Yes, because
The super fan.
Some things I need, like, Mom, you still got this? Oh yeah, man, this right here in this drawer. You know.
Thank God for your mama, man.
Yep. So
I miss mine.
So they didn't get it on right away, but they also had closed circuit TV down at the Kill Auditorium. So I begged and plead my mom to take me to this Wrestlemania showing, and she took me down there, and that's when Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior,
Wow.
which was probably the worst wrestling match I ever seen. But I didn't know that at the time because, like,
And the Warrior actually won the belt.
yes, it was the dramatics of
Do it
it.
again, Shal.
It was the biggest dramatic show.
Rest in peace, Warrior.
The hype to the show was like so big, you know, because there was two faces facing each other. You know, first time this happened, probably like on a big stage ever, like when two baby faces faced each other.
Yeah.
And now it was for two belts, like how we're seeing at WrestleMania this weekend. Like there was at the end of the show, I was crushed because I was a big Hulk Hogan fan. You know, I'd never seen him lost before.
I wanted to see Hogan lose.
Yeah, well,
not to spoil it,
Yeah.
but that's the night that the Ultimate Warrior got fired.
That's the night he got fired.
Yeah, that's because he demanded more money.
Yeah, he sure did.
And Vince,
I was too little. I was a kid.
Vince and them pissed on him.
Cut it out.
Don't kill him. Don't kill him. Don't kill him.
But it was that
His
was,
title run was squashed.
yeah, because that was his only WWF at the time title when he won.
He was never treated the same.
Wow.
Never.
You absolutely
I
right.
didn't know
He even made a return, and they treated him like he was a mid-card guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my favorite WrestleMania ceremony
right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what about you, Lucy? You got a favorite moment?
Favorite WrestleMania for me, gotta be 17. So y'all already know how I feel about The Rock.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Yo, make it quick.
Yeah, I know it. Hurry it up.
Forget y'all.
Misery quick.
Forget y'all. The
Go
Rock.
ahead and look at this picture back there behind you. There you go. Blow a kiss at him.
He's looking at me.
See how she turned it around, Sham.
Anyway, but it's The Rock versus Stone Cold
Yes.
was the main event.
That was a good one.
But let me go ahead and tell
That
y'all.
was 17. Yeah.
It was 17.
Is that the one where
But-
Rock lost the belt to Stone Cold?
Stone Cold turned heel
That night.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell y'all, it wasn't the main event that I was
Stone Cold beat him.
that makes it my favorite. What makes it my favorite is that there was a Money in the Bank match that night too.
I watched that.
And it was Christian and Edge.
Yeah. Was that the first one?
And that was the Billy Boys, right?
Who was in it? Christian and Edge, Chris Benoit, Kane, Shelton Benjamin,
Ooh.
Chris Jericho, Edge, and Christian. I said Edge and Christian.
Okay.
Edge and Christian.
That was the first one, right?
What's the
I
Dudley
believe-
Boys?
No, the Dudley Boys were not in that one.
Okay.
It was Chris Benoit, Jericho, Shelton Benjamin, Kane, Edge, and Christian. So
Okay.
six people were.
Okay.
That was a hell of a
and,
match.
Yeah,
And
it was.
Shelton Benjamin did the spear off the ladder, and
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
and
Yeah,
Edge wound up winning,
Yeah.
and so I was a
Edge and
real
Christian
big
was really
Edge and
messed up
Christian
after
fan.
that
I know, but that is why 17 is my favorite.
All those guys
just
was
because of
saluted.
Rock,
Yeah.
But that Money in the Bank match that night was it just always
It
sticks out in
was.
my memory. I just absolutely loved it, and for whatever reason, I just really thought that Shelton Benjamin. I thought they were kind of grooming him to kind of be like the next big thing or what have you,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say, I think they were grooming him to be the next, big black wrestler,
But
kind of like a
he-
Booker, like the next Booker
He
T.
is so athletic.
Kind of. That's what I thought, that they were grooming him to be kind of like the next big
Yeah.
Booker T. And they just
And
haven't done anything
and
with
he-
them, and it's just
And
really
he was a
disappointing.
heck of a wrestler.
That's
Yeah,
the
man.
ongoing story of
Heck of a
WWE.
You know,
And we
That's
not,
a
and we
whole
not, and we,
totally
that's,
different
that's
topic.
another
Whole
night. That's
topic.
another
Right.
night.
Yeah.
But for Lucy, you guys, Mania 17.
What?
Lynn.
Okay, well, since this is my first time here, I'm going to take some liberties. I had two favorite moments.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Introduction was
And please don't let The Rock be in it.
No.
I did it to mess with Lucy.
So, I was 11 years old.
I know
Now, here
that's right,
she go.
Krista.
Go ahead, youngster.
Here she talking about 11 years old.
Krista said, "Go ahead and preach about The Rock. You better."
Look at y'all.
Verbal high five, boo. Thanks.
So WrestleMania 3. So all that year, Andre the Giant had turned heel.
Oh, she better steal my moment.
They had been working up this storyline all the way up to there, and it was him and Hulk Hogan.
Passing the torch.
And when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant,
I was huge.
I just sat there like with my mouth open for like 5 minutes because I couldn't.
Never been done before.
Couldn't get it out of my head because it was
Harley did it.
just the visual of Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan like standing next to each other like that, right? And then when he finally body slammed him, it was like, whoa, like this dude is invincible. And we talking about like Hulk, like 1986, right? So that means that he wasn't even as big as what he eventually got to be. So he was just like kind of regular size still, right?
He was
average.
But what a lot of people don't know, Ray slammed him first at the Kill years ago. Way before WWE became a monster, but on the mainstream stage,
I watched that.
It became a big deal for Hogan.
When I watched the Andre the Giant documentary, that's when I would start going back and seeing that they wrestled like Andre the Giant and Hogan wrestling like
in other venues, right?
Except not on the big stage.
And you know they let Hulk Hogan have a lot of glory because he was the only one that slammed Big John Studd also.
Yep.
What's your other one?
And my number 2 favorite one, which is really like my number 1, was WrestleMania 24, Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels. When Ric Flair retired, and I was emotional. Like for the first time watching wrestling, I was emotional because when Shawn said, "I'm sorry, I love you." Right. Do you know how many times Lucy and I like replayed that? She's like, okay.
That was a roller coaster ride.
I'm sorry. Kick me in the head. And then I'm like, okay.
Lucy, you did.
We redid that. I mean, it was like so
Ric Flair
emotional.
instantly started crying when he hit the mat. Because he knew it was
It's 59 years old, you guys. Like Ric Flair, like we grew up.
It's like the human. It touched the human heartstrings in that match.
We grew up with him. Like you had Ric. We were raised by Ric Flair, right?
Wrestling at the Chase.
I'm just gonna see my memory. Then I forgot what WrestleMania. Maybe y'all can help me. But
somebody get Shaft some coffee.
But you know, it was the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan.
WrestleMania
5. Okay, thank you. And that's sometimes I'm glad some youngsters.
Look at him.
Hey, I'm here to help.
I think one of my favorite ones that still stand out. I'm sorry, man. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the Macho Man. I'm sorry. That one still do it for me. I like the other ones, but I don't know which WrestleMania was. It was one of the early ones. It was one of the early ones. And they pretty much stole the show. And I think Vince was a little pissed with them because I think, wasn't it Hogan and Bundy was supposed to be in the main event?
That was 2 then. If it was like Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy, I believe that was WrestleMania 2. I might be wrong.
If I'm wrong, people can call in.
Because I remember early.
Yeah, it was.
I remember the 80s hair.
Right.
They were still young. They wasn't old men yet.
But what I liked about what Lynn said, she talking about, I was 11 years old. So I guess you was 11 years old too.
I was in 6 minutes. So
oh, okay.
So I have to work tonight. I had so much.
Give Lynn 6 minutes.
All right.
So
okay.
much.
Well,
but Lucy had some questions to ask me, I guess.
Yeah, you're a guest on the show. You can't go, Lynn.
Before I let you go, though,
All right, Frankie Beverly.
Upcoming WrestleMania, I'm really hoping that it goes down as one of my favorites because we got Kofi Kingston.
I like to see Kofi win it all, baby.
So we're really excited about that one.
So is there going to be a watch party at your house?
Definitely.
Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
Party over Lucy house.
So we're going to be. So
y'all heard it.
Party at Lucy's.
I'm claiming it now. This is probably going to be my next favorite WrestleMania moment. And then not only that, the women, of course, are going to be the main event for WrestleMania on that night. And I know that St. Louis is going to be St. Louis is going to be making history with an all-female show on April 26th. It's STL Anarchy in Alton, Illinois.
Oh, man.
An all-female
We got to get there, y'all.
Yes.
Outside the ring need to be in the house.
Alley Cat and Kimberly are going to be the main event. I'm believing they're the main event.
We're not mad
So
at
this
that.
is going
I
to be
believe Alley Cat going to lose.
absolutely huge. My thing is,
Tootie on the
there
call.
are so many. Yes, Seishin's going to be there.
All right, cool.
My thing is, at this point, is just, I guess I just feel like I need to go on and say this.
Say it.
There is not enough support for the females in the Midwest.
That's a fact.
We have so many talented females. Sophie King, Savannah Stone, Seishin, Rain Victoria, Cameron Brene. The ladies are
Great
really
ladies,
killing
talented
it right
ladies.
now. And I'm noticing that, I feel like the love that these girls, how we give it to all of the other wrestlers, we really need to show that same thing to the females. So for Lynn to call out Glory Pro for not having a female match on last week, kudos to you for that.
Representation matters.
Representation
It do matters.
So I just feel like these guys, if you know a female wrestler or you claim to enjoy female wrestling as much as you say,
Encourage them and support them.
please, if you're not booked, come out, help them set up the ring too. Help them break down the ring too. And then stay and enjoy the show. I just think that is just really wild how sometimes these girls will go out there, they hop in these carloads, not even guaranteed to even be on the card, but they're going to go out there and network, show their face, knowing that there's a good chance that they're not going to be on it. You guys, just wrestlers, guys, I'm really encouraging you to make it out to this show on April 26th and just support the ladies. That's really all I got to say.
Pack that house. Buy a ticket for you. Don't just get a ticket for yourself. Buy a ticket for somebody else as well.
Right. I can't wait for that.
Go right ahead, Lucy. Go right ahead.
Let me set my timer.
And
Lynn
there's
has to
no
work.
pass, no coming back.
Be fast on your feet, Lynn.
Okay.
Or Lucy, you can do like you did when you were little. Hit her upside the head.
We're going to do 15 questions in
Don't beat me up,
45
Lynn.
seconds.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and set my timer now. Let's go ahead and take care of this. We have Lynn Fields, local wrestling fan and aunt of Seishin, a.k.a. Tootie Lynn Ramsey.
And Lucy's twin sister.
This is her 15 and 45.
Go, Lynn.
Weights or cardio?
Weights.
Original or crispy?
Crispy.
Fasting or keto?
Fasting.
Road trip or flight?
Road trip.
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hot dogs.
Beach bum or snow bunny?
Yeah. Beach bum.
Android or iPhone?
Android.
Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Chipotle or Qdoba?
Qdoba.
NBA or NFL?
NBA.
Heels or babyface?
Babyface.
Twitter and Instagram?
Insta.
LA or New York?
They're gross. Both are gross.
LA or New York?
Yeah, pick one, Lynn.
Weather. Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Baby. Or Seishin?
Tootie Lynn.
Okay.
You better not get that one wrong.
Biggie, but you totally made it in
That's
time.
what people say, Biggie.
Lynn made it with
Lynn
made it with 4 seconds to spare.
Hell yeah.
And Sharon, before you go, I need you to talk to the YouTube
Thank you
audience.
so much, Lynn, for sitting in with us tonight, for all of your wonderful knowledge and opinions.
And we hope you come back, Lynn.
Thank you.
Vader, if you go ahead and cue up the music, please. We're going to take a 2
And let these YouTube people know where they can find us at on Facebook.
Outside the ring, STL.
Outside the ring.
Talk to them.
Outside the ring, STL.
It's on Facebook. That's where you find us.
5 p.m. to 8 p.m. You got Mr. Bibbs. You got the lovely
Outside the
Lucy.
ring.
You got the general who don't give people insurance. And
You got the
we
music
got the
cue.
super van.
Hey,
All right, Lynn, thank you so much for joining us. Up next.